Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
You think I don't know what happened? I have 3 teenage daughters. I know exactly how you were holding your computer, how you put it on the thing.
This is the plaintiff, Kayla Ross. She says the defendant knocked over her MacBook Pro computer into a puddle of water, then spilled her cup of water and it landed on top of her computer. The defendant picked up the computer, started shaking it, and got even more water inside the thing, ruining it. Now she's faced with an $800 bill to get the computer repaired. The defendant won't pay, and she's suing. This is the defendant, Naima Scotland. She says she didn't knock the plaintiff's computer over. It just fell off a chair into a puddle of water. The plaintiff stood there frozen like a deer in headlights, so she bent over to pick the thing up, and now suddenly she's to blame? Come on, man. She's accused of lapping it up.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, Kayla Ross, you're suing, how do I pronounce your name? Naima Scotland for $800, a cost of a MacBook Pro repair that you say you're going to have to spend because according to you, she damaged your computer. Yes. All right, tell me what's going on.
On September 25th, Naima and I went to a transfer student workshop at my college, and at the workshop they were serving pizza and there was also drinks. I came in, I took my coat off, I took my bag off, I put it on a chair. Naima did the same. She took her coat off and her bag and put it on top of my stuff on the chair. I asked her to move her bag and her coat and suggested that she put it on the floor. She told me that putting her bag on the floor would be bad luck, so she didn't remove her stuff. I then went and I got a slice of pizza and I got a cup of water.
I'm sorry, why did you want her to remove her stuff off of your stuff?
It was a small chair.
So why didn't you just remove your stuff?
My stuff was on bottom and it was a small chair. Okay. So I just figured that either she would find another place to move it.
But if it's, I don't know, I'm kind of trying to put myself, did that conversation happen? No. Right. You know, if I go with a friend to an event and I put something on a chair because I don't want to carry it, and she puts her stuff on the chair, I wouldn't lay a bigger claim to the chair and have this long protracted discussion with them about you need to move your stuff to a different chair. And were there different chairs for her to move her stuff onto?
There was other people sitting in chairs.
So there were no different chairs for her to put her stuff onto. And I would just move my stuff over and she'd have room too. I don't quite...
I personally don't like touching other people's stuff only because in the past I've had incidents where
You say the conversation never happened. You both just dropped your stuff and went to go get pizza.
No, it didn't.
Right, so what happens?
It didn't happen. So I went and I got my pizza and a cup of water. She went, she got pizza and a cup of water. I sat down. There was a person that was hosting the whole event, so my focus was on her. During that, Naima's foot or something happened where she knocked her cup of water onto the floor. I said, can you clean it up? Because this is the second time I've had to ask her to do something. She said, oh, I'll get it later, like brushed the whole thing off. So I continued.
Where did the water fall?
It was to the right of me.
And that was where in relationship to your laptop?
My laptop was on the chair.
Was your laptop inside of a bag?
Yes, it was inside of a black bag, which is my bag.
Inside of a protective bag?
Not in
a laptop case or what?
It wasn't in its case at the time, but my laptop was inside because I had packed it up inside of the bag.
Inside of what bag?
My black bag, my purse.
Like a purse?
Yes.
What's the bag made of?
It's a leather material.
Okay. Do you have the purse? You don't have the purse?
I don't have the purse with me.
All right, so go ahead.
Okay, so she began talking, the person who was hosting the event, and I was eating my pizza. There was still water on the floor. I heard this big bang. Everyone's like, oh. I turn and I see my laptop in the puddle of water that she didn't clean up.
But how is it not your whole purse that's in the puddle of water if your laptop is in the purse?
I'm guessing that her stuff that was on top of mine, the weight of all the items together had pushed my bag. Because my bag.
I'm sorry, what fell into the puddle? Just the laptop?
Yes, just
How
the laptop.
did the laptop magically get out of the purse?
I'm guessing because there was weight on top, having her coat and her bag, which I found out later she also had her laptop.
That would only keep it more secure and snug as a bug in a rug. Your laptop wasn't just loose on top of the purse?
No, it was inside the purse. It was inside the purse. My bag was there, my coat on top, her bag, her coat on top.
So how did the laptop move?
I presume that it was the weight or it was Naima who knocked it down when she went for one of her items, because I was focused on the host hosting the questions.
Who's the person with you? Is moral support or a witness?
This is a witness.
What is she a witness to?
She saw when Naima went for my laptop, she also had a cup of water on her hand. So the water that she had went over to pick up my laptop with spilled on top of it, and everyone saw her brushing the water off and shaking my MacBook off, thinking that would help.
What happened?
I heard.
Who are you, by the way?
I am Claudia. And I am a student at the same college that the event happened.
What college is this?
Lehman College.
Okay.
I was to the left of them. They were on the road that was in the middle of the room. I was on the left side. I heard the noise that something fell. I looked over. I saw that it was a Mac that was on the floor and was being picked up by a girl that just like carelessly passed it over, and she was brushing something off of it as she was passing it to the person next to her, and I saw the empty plastic transparent cup on the floor.
All right, you tell me your side. What happened?
Okay, first of all, Kayla's laptop.
You walk in, and what happened?
We walked in to the event.
Were you two going together, or you just?
Yeah, we went together. Were
you friends before this?
We were acquaintances. We met through a mutual person. So
okay, you weren't close though.
Yeah, no, we weren't close. So we went to the event, and upon entering the building, first of all, we have to take out our IDs. Now, Kayla's bag was not suitable for a Mac at all.
And not
anyway,
what?
It wasn't suitable for a Mac. For a computer, period, to be in there. So she had to dig through the bags to get to her wallet to take out the ID. She never placed the Mac back in her book, in her bag at all. It was left as soon as we sat down. She left the bag and then her computer, and then I placed my things on the side.
Wait, stop. What are you saying? That on the chair, she put her bag
and the computer
put the computer on top of it?
On top of the bag.
And then what? And then you put your stuff on top of the loose computer?
To the side of it. And then when I came back, it wasn't in that order anymore. Her stuff was on top of my stuff at this point. And I just sat down.
So what's on the tippy top? The computer?
Her computer.
Is on top
my
of,
bag.
so your bag, her bag, and the computer's on top loose.
Yes. And so I pretty much, after I sat down, she wasn't paying any mind to the computer or to what, I don't know what she was looking at, but whatever. Next minute, I hear the loud bang as well. And everyone's like, oh, what was that? What was that? Searching the room. I turned around, looked down, the computer's there on the floor. I realized that my cup of water was on the floor because I had placed it on the floor near the chair to the left of me. And so I immediately rushed to pick it up. I started wiping it off. I'm like,
wait,
it should
stop.
be okay.
Had you already spilled your water?
No, I never spilled my water. My water was full, a full cup of water.
So why do you pick up what, you got thirsty?
No,
Why would you pick up your cup at a moment like that?
No, I didn't pick up her cup. I picked up the laptop.
No, but why would you pick up your cup?
Afterwards. That was when I was cleaning it up already. My cup was on the floor already. Once
your cup was on the floor upright or had been spilled?
It was upright. It was a filled.
Why would you put a cup of water on the floor? Instead of there's no table?
There was no table there. There was no table. So I placed it on the floor right next to the chair, next to me.
Then the computer falls.
The computer falls on top of it.
Do we know how the computer falls?
No. I didn't touch the chair, didn't go next to it or anything. I was
The computer falls, and according to you, what? It falls on your water?
It fell on top of the water. The cup was completely crushed. I'm like, how did the cup end up crushed if I did this and I levitated somehow the cup on top and then I crushed it up? Like, it didn't make any sense to me that she was like blaming me for something that I didn't do.
Okay, so it falls and it falls on top of the cup of water.
Falls on top of the water. Her soda actually was on the floor too, so it was knocked over as well.
Was your soda on the floor too?
It was not.
On the floor, yes or no?
Yes, it was.
Okay, go on.
So her cup was on the floor as well. As soon as I picked it up and started wiping it off, I'm like, it should be fine. There was a female in front of me. She turned around, she said, oh, just turn it off, it should be fine. And I'm like, yeah, it should be fine. Wiped it off, handed it to her. And then I hear her mumbling like something under her breath. And I'm like, what? Okay. Then I hear something about payment. So I'm like, okay. At the moment, she expected me to react to her yelling and screaming and jumping up and disputing what she's saying. But I'm like, I felt it was inappropriate for the event where we were at. So once we leave the event, nothing was spoken about the computer at all. She didn't mention anything about it, and I was just like.
Did you leave together?
Yeah, we left together. I walked back to the same building where she had to go to work at the computer lab, and I was like, it should be fine. Left. 2 hours later, she's texting me like, oh, it doesn't turn on. But while we were there, and the girl said, just turn it off. She's doing this. Oh, turn it on and off, turn it on and off. So to my understanding, it was fine. So I'm like, okay.
But then why is it all of a sudden not fine?
Exactly. I don't know what she was doing when I left her and she got to the computer lab.
You think it broke in the meantime and she's trying to blame you?
Yes, pretty much.
I think it broke. I just question how it broke.
Yeah.
But so why would she have to pay for it? Because it was her puddle of water that you say she had already spilled the puddle of water and left it there.
Yes.
And then her purse was on yours and somehow that made a heavy computer levitate into the air and fall down. I don't know how that could happen. If your computer was you think I don't know what happened? I have 3 teenage daughters. I know exactly how you were holding your computer, how you put it on the thing. People forget how fragile this stuff is. I have daughters who walk around with their iPhones in their back of their jeans. You know how often their phone cases get used? It makes their butt look big, okay? So all of a sudden, every time I catch a phone without a cover, I take the phone away for a few days. I'm gonna do it to my husband too,
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey, 11 years. So is the defendant responsible for buying the plaintiff a new computer because she spilled water on the floor?
No, definitely not.
Why not?
Because she should have had her computer, properly in the case in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, how could it have fallen like this and gotten damaged if it was properly in the case?
It couldn't have.
It couldn't have. I mean, but whether it was in the case or not, it wouldn't have been damaged by water if the water wasn't on the floor, right?
Totally, yeah.
So is the defendant responsible for buying her new computer? Say no, please.
No.
Okay, perfect answer. Going inside the courtroom.
So I don't know how you could, how the story you were telling me about how the computer's safely inside the leather bag, but somehow comes out just not immediately, but just like magically from weight. It just moves to the side and comes down. It couldn't have happened that way.
I actually have a text that shows that she said she didn't pick up the water. And
let me see.
The first text.
Okay.
And her second cup, she spilled her water first, and then she spilled her water again, her new cup, on top of my computer.
I can only speculate from 2 things. You're either knocked my bag down purposely.
Exactly.
But
she's going from one thing to the next.
Either she had her cup or her pizza on the chair and then went to get something, and then
that would not be purposely. That would be an accident. Either you knocked my bag down purposely, which that's a crazy accusation, or went to grab your cup or slice at the same time, causing my bag to fall down. So you answer, so I knocked your bag down purposely. For what reason? Let me guess the reason you might have. Is it because I'm hating? LOL, you really sound crazy. Neither of the 2 happened. By the way, I was talking to the boy and did not go to pick up the water at all, which is reason why I said I did not knock it over, because I did not even go to touch anything on the chair or near the chair. Mm-hmm. What did you mean?
Is that I didn't go pick up the water, because she originally was saying that I went and was reaching. Maybe I went to go get the water to drink it, and I'm like, that's not what I was doing. I wasn't going to pick up the water at all.
Okay, so you're saying that means pick up my intact cup that hasn't spilled.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. My intact cup.
Okay, that's plausible too. You got anything else?
On October 3rd, when I spoke to Naima for the second time, I came to her with the sheet of the diagnostic and what could she do. She later on told me that she felt bad because the water on the floor was her responsibility and she didn't clean it up, so that's why she's feeling a little bit.
Did you say that?
I did not.
Do you have that in a text?
I said to her.
Yes or no? Do you have that in a text?
I said to her.
No. And what did you say?
I said to her that I felt bad because I placed a cup of water on the floor, and that was it. I'm like, that's the only thing that I feel bad about.
Can I ask you?
Maybe I could have.
Let's talk about the second part. Can I talk to you again? I'm sorry. What did you say when you heard the thud? Take it from there again. You turned around and you saw a girl, which turns out to be this girl. I take it.
I turned my head. She's picking it up carelessly. So I'm like, oh.
What does carelessly mean? Show me how. Somebody give her a computer so I can see what picking it up carelessly means. Here's a book. Lord help us. Pretend the book is a computer. Go ahead. Show me what carelessly means.
Well, she's picking it up like just passing it to her like that. Like,
how else can you possibly pick up something and pass it?
No, that's the sense I got. So I really thought that it was her, Naima's computer, because, I thought she was picking it like she owned it, and then she was just brushing it past like nothing happened. And everybody in the room was like, oh, that's a mess.
So she had one hand on the computer and the other hand like this?
Yeah, while passing it, because
with
there
napkins.
was water and I saw the cup.
Where did you see the cup?
On the floor.
Okay, so how did she spill another cup of water on it when she had it in her hands?
This was her second cup.
She has a third hand.
Exactly.
I want to also be clear that she had 2 cups. She spilled her cup as soon as she came.
Can you tell me how she has a third hand to spill water on the computer while it's in her hand?
No, she had her first cup spilled on the floor. She had a second cup. The big boom happened. We all looked. She goes to get it.
What's in your hand right now?
This is the cup.
Okay, that's not what your witness said. That's why I gave your witness the book, so I can have her do exactly what she says she saw happen. My verdict's in you can't prove your case. I'm sorry about your computer, but you cannot prove your case. Proof again that your computer should be in an impact-resistant case. The truth of the matter is that your computer, which was not in a case, fell on top of where she had her water cup, and that's why you feel she's responsible, and that's not sufficient. Verdict to the defendant.
All right, ladies, hold on right there, please.
So the plaintiff, unable to prove her case, steps out here on the losing end of this decision. What's making you smile?
Well, the fact that I forgave her a long time ago for what she did to my computer, it's just a little sad that she would come to court and completely lie about what happened, when she even apologized to me that she felt bad that her water spilled on the floor and she didn't clean it up. So I guess I didn't have enough to prove the case, but, I could go home with the gratifying feeling that I told the truth and someone else didn't, so I'm okay.
Okay, around the corner documents wait for you there, and so there's the defendant here. You hear what she's saying here. I suppose you see it differently.
Yeah, she's the liar here. She obviously has no evidence. I couldn't even show, the judge where she kept saying that she has witnesses in all this video. It's like, you have this, but you don't. Like, you're the liar here.
Well, if you didn't do it, why was she trying to pin it on you?
Because she doesn't have the money to pay for herself. And I knew that already. Like, she just wants me to pay for it, pretty much. She doesn't have the money.
Think, Harvey?
Liar.
So here's the thing. Even if the defendant was negligent for putting water in the floor, the accident was preventable by securing the computer, and the computer wasn't secured clearly, so the plaintiff loses. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo. There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the 5 of us.
So this was all planned. What are you gonna do?
I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault, a new series streaming now only on Peacock.
In Walmart's Who-Newville, everyone ready their cart. Amazing Black Friday deals are about to start. Online and in the app, such great deals to explore. Everything you love from tech, toys, and more. The days to save and the ones to remember. It's only the 25th to the 30th of November. Set your alarms. Don't miss out. These deals are epic, without a doubt. The Who's are all ready, but are you? Walmart Black Friday deals await. Who knew?
This is the plaintiff, Mitchell Cohen. He says he and the defendant had a deal to trade their matching 1991 Firebirds, but because the defendant's was in better condition, he agreed to pay the difference in their value and gave him a check for $500. His car died before they actually exchanged the cars. They called off the deal, and now he's having one heck of a time recovering that $500 check. The guy has caused him nothing but problems. He's now out $1,200 because of him. That's exactly what he's suing for today. This is the defendant, Jeremy Valenza. He says the plaintiff gave him a $500 deposit for a car he was selling. Then he called the deal off. Now he wants his deposit returned? Well, everyone knows deposits on cars are non-refundable, and the guy can leave all the threatening messages he wants on his phone. He simply doesn't owe him any money. He's accused of holding on tight.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff and the defendant agreed to trade their matching 91 Firebirds, but the plaintiff threw in an extra $500. Plaintiff's car died and he called off the deal and wants his money back. But the defendant says, sorry, non-refundable. It's the case of, I'll give you the bird, but not the $500.
Thank you, Douglas. Mr. Cohen, you are suing Mr. Valenza for $1,200 that you say you are out and that he is inappropriately keeping from you, $500 for a deposit, $500 for a private investigator, and $200 for loss of work and having to sue. Tell me about it.
Basically was looking on Craigslist to buy a car, a Firebird, late 80s or early 90s. And when I saw Mr. Valenza's ad for a 91 Firebird for $3,000. So I called the phone number and I arranged a meeting at his parents' house. And I went to see the car, and when I saw the car, it looked a little different than the picture. I mean, it had like a spray paint job. The door jambs didn't match. Had a mismatched interior. Tires were bald. Headlights didn't flip up.
So you just had to have it.
I should. Well, I had a Firebird too that wasn't in such great shape either. So I'm good at fixing things. So I figured maybe I could.
So what was better about this one than yours? Because you had the same car, a 91 Firebird.
I think it had less miles on it for one thing. Also, the odometer didn't work. There were several things.
If the odometer didn't work, then how would you know if it had fewer miles than yours?
Mine had a lot of miles on it. It had to have fewer than mine.
Okay.
But anyway, it wasn't really worth $3,000. So we agreed to maybe do a trade with some cash.
Okay, so what was your deal?
The deal was I was going to bring the car back the next week, my car. I sent him some pictures, and basically I was going to give him some more cash. I think it was $900 more.
How much? What, according to you, what was the deal?
$1,400 cash plus his vehicle for my vehicle.
Okay, and then when you say $900 more, because you gave him $500,
right?
And that's why we're here, really, because you gave him $500 originally as a deposit.
Yeah,
So you're supposed to come back with the car and $900 more. So we're in agreement about what the deal is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and about 2 days.
Is there any paperwork when you give him that money?
No,
no receipt. You give him cash, and there's no.
I gave him a check.
Oh, you gave him a check. All right. Do you have the check with you?
I have a copy of it. Yes.
Yeah. Let me see. Did you write anything on the memo line?
It says for Firebird.
Okay. All right, so go on.
Basically what happened was a couple days later, I noticed oil drizzling out of my car. So I replaced the part that was broken, which was an oil pressure sensor, and right after I replaced it, the car would not start, no matter what I did.
Okay.
So I took it to a mechanic, and they messed around with it for about a day, and they didn't really know what was wrong with it, so I towed it.
What kind of mechanic did you take it to?
It was Amco.
Okay.
It was across the street from where the car stopped.
They couldn't fix it?
I don't know what was going on.
I think you do. What did they say? How much was it going to cost to fix?
No, they didn't say anything about what it would cost. They said the mechanic would look at it, and the guy looked at it and didn't know, and it kind of was taking a while.
That doesn't usually happen. They usually can't wait to make you part with your money. So they usually give you an estimate of what it's going to cost to fix.
Honestly, they didn't. And then I tried to fix it. I bought a fuel pump for it. I bought a computer for it, and it's still not running to this day. I think it's some kind of fuel pressure shut-off switch somewhere. Okay. I don't know. I'm not a real mechanic.
Right.
But anyway, that's the truth. I honestly couldn't get it running. So when that happened, I called Jeremy, and told him what was going on, and he said, well, just keep me updated as to what's going on with it. And I said, if you have anybody else that wants to buy the car, sell it to them. So basically, a couple of days later, I get a text from him saying, I've cashed your check. You owe me $2,500 due today only.
Okay, but wait, you're skipping a bunch of stuff that happens in the meantime, aren't you?
Not really.
Okay, according to you, what happens in the meantime?
In the meantime, basically I told him about the check that when he came through on Wednesday, which was the final date for us to, finish up this whole deal, that I was going to basically,
Wait, did he call you on Wednesday and tell you I can't make it because
Exactly. He just basically kept calling me and telling me that his car wasn't working, and the deal that we had arranged for was $1,400 plus a running Firebird for a running Firebird.
Right.
I believe on Tuesday or Monday, he calls me up and tells me that the car is at the shop and the car is not working and yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, all right, fine. When you come by, either, scrap the car and get $500, or I'll give you $500 for a car that's not running and you can bring it to me, and then just make up the difference. And nothing happened on Wednesday, so I kept dealing with him until Saturday. Saturday morning, I figured, well, the day that we had set up for the deal was Wednesday, so Wednesday has come and passed. I'm going to cash this check.
Wait, all this is happening, you haven't cashed a check?
I haven't cashed a check because...
Oh my gosh, bird in the hand, man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't stop payment on the check.
That's what I thought would happen.
Right.
Exactly, so...
Well, that's what most people would think would happen. That's why most people would run, not walk, to the bank branch of where he drew that check from and cash the check.
Yeah, I was surprised myself, but I was still willing to do the trade. After a couple of texts back and forth, it got a little bit, I guess he was demanding his money. Because at that point,
you were offering him, all right, I'll give you $500 for a non-working one.
Yeah.
At this point, you were trying to strike another deal with him.
Strike another deal, exactly.
And this is what you mean when you say, well, we didn't have a deal, because he's trying to strike a deal, you don't like the deal he's trying to strike, right?
Okay, can you just, boom, cancel a contract when you want? I mean, if you do it quickly.
No. Once it's signed, it's signed.
Once it's signed, it's signed. You buying that?
No.
What do?
You rip up the contract?
But you've signed the contract.
Yeah, but if you rip it up and it doesn't exist anymore and you haven't taken a copy of it?
Oh, so you just want to be kind of crooked?
Well, yeah.
Okay, an honest Irishman going inside the courtroom.
The reason I didn't put a stop payment on it was because, it was in good faith that we were going to...
What's the good faith? What's the point of giving him a deposit if it's not for you to part with your money?
Well, yeah, of course it's to part with the money. We were supposed to go through with the deal.
Right, I understand that. And when you don't go through with the deal through no fault of his, why would he have to return the deposit? Why don't you have to go and fix your car?
I was trying to.
Why don't you have to go and listen, it's not that hard. Apparently you tinker. So what you don't want is to have to pay what you're going to have to pay to fix the car. So if you paid what you had to pay to fix the car, then you could go through with the contract. You chose as a business matter that it's not worth it for you, and that's fine. But be honest about it. So then whose fault is it that you can't consume the deal you did have? It's your fault. It broke on you, but it's not like you deliberately broke your car, but it's within your power to fix it. It's just that you don't want it to cost you. You want it to cost him. You want him to have to return what by default is a non-refundable deposit. When you give a deposit, the deposit is to do something. It's to take it off the market. It's to show good faith. I love when plaintiffs say that. Show good faith, but you got to return it because now I have bad faith. Like the idea is that you're a serious buyer and you're willing to risk $500. If you're no longer willing to risk $500, then it's like saying, here, hold my shoe.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't do anything for him. You can't do anything with one shoe. Okay, how is it? I don't understand something. You're suing for $500 deposit back. I understand that, obviously. And then you're also suing for $500 in investigator fees.
Well, you see, what happened was what he just said was untrue. I tried to contact him over and over again, and I couldn't get him to answer the phone or get a hold of him. So I tried to get a private investigator to talk to him to ask him to give me my money back. That's simply what happened.
Wait, I want to understand this. You paid an investigator $500? I can't hear your answer.
Yes, I did.
This isn't just some friend of yours who doctored this up for court for you?
No.
I would rather think it was. You know why? Because I'm desperately trying to understand why a man would pay $500.
Well, I didn't know it was going to cost that much.
Wait just a second. To at best get $500, net sum gain to you, zero.
It was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. You did do that.
I know. I didn't think it would cost that much, Your Honor.
How do you not know what the guy's going to cost you before the guy costs you?
Yeah, well, it was way more expensive than I thought it would be.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Who pays $500 to maybe get $500?
It didn't work out so well for me.
Don't
Let's
go
put
to
it that
Vegas.
way.
Here's my advice. Just don't go to Vegas. Yeah.
The reason I had stopped communication with him was because he was getting kind of vulgar on the phone. But
How was he getting vulgar on the phone?
I never talked to him after that.
Well, after that, he's talking about before that. How was he getting vulgar?
He left me messages on my phone prior to this investigator calling me up and also telling me that I needed to give back the money and this and that and the third, which I
What was the vulgar part?
Basically saying that I better pack a toothbrush because I'm in trouble now. I'm basically claiming that I'm going to jail for what I'm doing.
Right. As a matter of fact, there's a text that he sends you telling you that you're about to go to jail for fraudulent checks, which is absurd.
Exactly.
It's your check.
I was just trying to get it back.
I don't know. I just didn't want to deal with him over the phone because there's no proof of what he said and didn't say over a phone call.
When you two aren't explicit about whether a deposit is refundable or not, it's the judge's job to look at the facts of the case and try to determine the intent of the parties. And the intent of the parties in this case is it's a done deal. It only didn't go through thanks to you breaching the contract. And therefore, it's a non-refundable deposit. I find in favor of the defendant in this case. That's my verdict.
And so there's nothing that the courts can do to get your deposit back for you. This is a case that you just have to eat the result.
I guess so. You know, I didn't receive anything from him. We never really had a solid deal on anything, and I'm out $500. So.
Yeah. Well, what would you have done differently if you had that deal to do over again? Maybe get certain things in writing?
No, I wouldn't have given him a deposit.
Mm-hmm. All right, and this friend of yours who took $500 to be a private investigator, this is a friend of yours?
No, I don't know the guy.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I met him in an office.
Okay. All right, head right down this way. And all right, so put yourself in his shoes. What do you think happened here?
He basically put himself in a bad deal. And I don't see how I'm responsible for that at all. So,
so you still have the car? Your car?
I do.
Yours runs?
Mine runs.
What are you going to do with that car?
Sell the car.
You're going to sell it to somebody else?
Restore it and continue to restore.
Hey, what are you going to do with the $500?
I've already invested it in more car parts. So.
Okay. Harvey?
You know, I mean, the reality is you can cancel a contract when you went and say, look, I'm not going to go through with it. The fact is there are consequences, and you got to pay damages. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. What do you bring to a holiday party? Simple. A bottle of Casamigos. Because nothing gets the party started like a Casamigos margarita, which isn't just for summer. In fact, it's the perfect pour all year round. Casamigos is the gift that always feels right, because anything goes with my Casamigos. Please drink responsibly. Imported by Casamigos Spirits Company, White Plains, New York. Casamigos Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume.
This is the plaintiff, Camarilla. She says she signed a lease for an apartment the defendant was renting. And when it came time to move in, there was no stove or refrigerator in the kitchen. When she asked the defendant where they were, he told her the place didn't come with a stove or refrigerator. Huh? Needless to say, she never moved in. He refuses to refund her money, so she's suing for the $330 she's owed. This is the defendant, Warren. He says he made it quite clear the tenant supplies the fridge and the stove. Once she realized she was going to have to pony up those appliances, she asked to be let out of her lease, and he agreed. The plaintiff is lucky he returned any of her money because the woman cost him money and also prevented him from signing a lease with 4 other prospective tenants. Oh, her? Ha! He's accused of lousy landlording.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff signed an apartment lease. When it came time to move in, no stove, no fridge. But the defendant says that was her problem. It's the case of going a manna to a manna.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, both of you have asked that we not mention your last names. Camarilla, you are suing Warren for $330, the balance of a security deposit that you say he owes you and refuses to pay, correct?
Correct.
What happened?
I went to go see an apartment the end of July. I was apartment hunting. I found this apartment. He told me if I looked around and it only had a stackable washer and dryer. So because of that, I told him I can't take the apartment because I have a washer and dryer that is side by side. He said, well, Kay, if you're serious, I told him he could call me Kay. He said, Kay, if you're serious about taking the apartment, I will make the arrangements for you. I said,
meaning what, the plumbing arrangements?
Meaning he will move the dryer plug so that it could be side by side.
And you can bring your own in.
Correct. So I brought him my security deposit on August 3rd. As I gave him my security deposit and I'm signing the lease, he informs me as soon as I put the T across my last name that he will be moving to Minnesota or something like that in about 6 months, and I'll be getting a new landlord because he's going to sell the apartment. I explained to him that I took the apartment because I felt like you were a nice guy and I built my relationship with you. Furthermore, going on in the middle of August, he calls me and he says, hey, Kay, I'm doing the...
You're supposed to move in when?
September 1st, but he told me that he's going to visit Minnesota before September 1st, so I would be in the apartment before September 1st. So I said, that's great because my kids start school August 27th, so if I could get in there before the kids start school, that would be great. So he said, okay, I'm gonna work that out for you. The middle of August, I'm trying to keep contact with him throughout the whole month. The middle of August, he calls me and he says, hey, Kay, the plumber, or the electrician for the dryer is going to cost me more than I intended. I thought it was going to be about $50 to $100, but in actuality, the guy's charging me $300. He said, can you go half with me? So I told him I'm not going to go half. He doesn't have to go through the problem or the struggle. Just return my security deposit. He said, okay, I really want you as a tenant, so I'll do whatever I have to do. I'm going to just do it. I said, no, it's okay, Warren. Just give me back my security deposit. He said, come look at the apartment and come see what I've done with the place so far. I go to the apartment.
Now, at this point, you had given him how much?
I gave him a money order of $875 for the security deposit.
Have you signed a lease?
On August 3rd, when I gave him
You did?
Yes.
Okay. And does anybody have the lease?
Yes.
Okay. And so you ask for your money back. He says no, right?
In the middle of August, he was like, well, come look at what I've done with the place. So I go over there and I look at the apartment, and there was no lights. There was nothing in the apartment when I initially went to see it in July. Nothing. The floors weren't done.
Yeah, but you knew that. So now it's when in August that you go see the apartment?
This is mid-August. It had to be like August 15th. And the lights that he chose to put in were these big light bulbs with one long string in every room. To me, that was tacky. The floors were done, but the paint from the floors were up on the walls. He's like, okay, I gotta still do the walls and everything. The kitchen was still full of
Wait, what do you mean the paint from the floors was still on the wall? I don't know what you're saying.
Whatever they used to paint the floors is splashed up on the walls, the brown. So it was, a dark wood color, but it was on the walls now. So he's like, oh, I still have to clean up the walls and everything. The kitchen was still full of tools, and so I can see that they're still working on it, but it wasn't, looking fantastic. But at the same time, like I explained to him, I like the apartment and I really wanted to get into an apartment so that my kids could be settled before the first day of school. That was my main focus. And I'm waiting a month for this. So now we're on August 25th or whatever. Now it's August 24th, correction. It's a Saturday. I call him because I haven't heard from him, and I called him and I said, Warren, what's going on with the apartment? Is it done? He said, okay, everything's done. I said, everything's done? Like the lights are fixed, the stove, the fridge? He said, yeah, the lights are in there, but Kay, there's no stove and there's no fridge. I said, Warren, what do you mean? He was like, oh, I told you it was cold flat. I said, now you're trying to play my intelligence.
Wait a minute. There's a lease. Does the lease say she has to bring a stove and a fridge?
Doesn't say that.
So why would a tenant expect that you're not going to supply the stove and the fridge?
So if the lease says nothing about it, does a tenant have a right to a stove and a fridge?
No, not at all. They searched for that apartment. They looked through the fine print.
Well, there was no fine print. That's the thing. No fine print. Is a tenant entitled to a stove and a fridge?
Yeah, it's basic rights, basic needs.
Basic rights?
I guess so, yeah.
Oh, that was definitive, going inside the courtroom.
She came and she saw the apartment and it was empty, and that's what she wanted.
Yeah, but you were working on the apartment, and you would say, come and see the work I've done. There were all kinds of, why would she not think that you were going to supply a stove and a fridge? How are you even allowed to not supply a stove and a fridge?
Well, my policy is
Don't you have to have, in Connecticut, don't you have to have like the CO each time you rent to somebody?
No, it's not required.
Do you have a CO to rent this? Is this your basement? What is this right here?
It's an apartment building. A three-family apartment.
Three-family apartment. Do you live there?
No.
Okay. And do you have, I don't know if the CO is what they call it.
No, that's when you have a private home. You get a certificate of occupancy.
What do you do when you have an apartment? How do they know you're not renting out apartments without stoves and fridge?
Well, I have most of my tenants are Section 8, and
So who cares?
Well, they come in and they inspect the apartment.
That's right. So when the government's not breathing down your throat and inspecting the apartment, how do we know that you're just following the law and providing these things anyway? Like, what is? I'm not.
No, because they don't require the landlord to have
Okay.
stove and a
Here's what we've
refrigerator.
got. She ends up, you end up saying, forget it. I'm not buying a stove and a fridge for your apartment.
Correct.
That I then have to take with me to every apartment that I go to or lose.
Correct.
All right. You then return a portion of the money, but not all of it. And how did you calculate what to return and what not?
Well, I just deducted the cost for the electrical work.
So you mean the electrical work for, I guess it was electrical, not plumbing?
Move the plug
for
from
the
one
washer
wall to
dryer?
the other.
The
From
washer
one-
dryer hookup is what you...
Exactly.
Okay, so that's what you held back, the washer dryer hookup that you spent for her. But in order to be able to hold anything back, you have to be able to prove to me that she is on notice of something very strange for most tenants, which is, hey, you got a stove and a fridge in your pocket, that she's the guy who has to provide the stove and the fridge. If it's not in your 7-page lease, tell me how is it that you're going to prove that because she's telling me she was shocked when she heard you say that. So how are you going to prove that you told her that? Do you have a text? Do you have an email? Do you have a tape phone call? Do you have a witness? How are you going to prove that?
Well, when she came in to see the apartment was empty.
That's it? That's how you're going to prove it?
I do not furnish my
That is how you're going to prove it. That's it.
That's all I have.
You figured she'd assume that now you're providing lights, you're fixing lights, you're doing but she doesn't need to assume that she's going to finish the floors just because the floors looked that way when she saw it. She doesn't need to assume she's going to put in light fixtures even though there were no light fixtures when she saw it. But she's to assume she needs to put in a stove and a fridge. Verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of $330. That's my judgment. Don't be ridiculous.
All right. Thank you.
Next time I suggest you put it in a lease.
The defendant was still talking as the judge was leaving the bench after that decision. What is it that you had to say at the end there?
Well, I was going to tell her that I told her that I was going to throw in the refrigerator and the stove at the end, and she said she just didn't want it again.
That's great. Why don't you put the stuff in writing?
Next time I'll do that.
Right. All right, so step on in here. Are you satisfied what just took place in court?
Yes, I'm glad that they seen where I was coming from, and everyone sees that that is nonsense, that you can't just tell people at the end 2 days before, no fridge and stove. It's crazy.
Yeah. Harvey?
Here's the thing. When you have a written lease, oral side deals are ridiculous because the other person's going to say, I didn't agree. If it's important enough to put in writing, put the amendments in writing too.